जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो.
If you are an RCB fan, like some of them from the Cricbuzz studio, we feel you. Such a fierce batting lineup, just completely blown away by sheer raw pace. RCB have unfortunately lost 3 out of their games. Lucknow win by 29 runs, and this is not the homecoming by 28 runs. I'm sorry, this is not the homecoming that RCB was looking for. Mayank Yadav, the pick of the bowlers, 3 for 14, just that pace, getting those wickets, blowing away the stumps. Naveen Ulhaq got 1 of 25 and Siddharth got 1 of 21. Lomror played a nice knock, 33 there, hoping for RCB to turn things around. Wasn't meant to be. We are back at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher. I have Harsha and Michael with me. We have to start with that young boy. It's such a delightful sight. I know RCB fans won't like this, but as an Indian fan, just to see this 21-year-old pacer do what he's done today.
Yeah, what do you make of him? Quick. He's got good rhythm. He doesn't look like he's trying too hard to bowl quick. But I like the lengths that he bowled. He wasn't bowling short, wide. He wasn't straying because of the extra pace. He was bowling in good areas. And very, very exciting. I just hope he looks after his body. Very exciting.
But also that wicket of Cam Green, because we spoke about it in the comm box.
Absolutely.
It was beautiful, really quick, slower in the 6 balls that he bowled, a slower one in comparison to what he was bowling, but just came in a little bit.
Yeah, if you add to that 17 dots from his 4 overs, I love to see pace, but there's always a smile on my face when I see a Western Australian batter in Cam Green get blown away by pace. You know, he's been brought up with pace. You know, the wickets in Perth, and then you've got Glenn Maxwell. I think we said in the halfway house that'd be a good matchup pace to Glenn Maxwell playing a pull shot. He obviously wasn't watching the previous game where he'd got 3 wickets to the pull shot, another couple tonight. He's got a beautiful action. He really has got a real nice rhythm. He's got a great run up. I don't know, was it Simon Katic on commentary said, we're getting in for the T20 World Cup side for India. I'm not too sure whether that's a little bit too soon, but I certainly would be eyeing him up for Australia later on in the year for a test. If his body, I don't know how much longer format bowling he's done.
He's played 1 first-class game.
Yeah, well, you've got to be careful with a bowler like that who's only 21 years of age. He hasn't got a huge amount of workload into his body, but he's exciting.
And the interesting thing, we spoke about him, about how he likes just being consistent, bowling the correct lengths. And I watched a couple of his interviews where he spoke about just liking speed a lot in life, not only while playing cricket, but he said he likes rockets, he likes fast cars.
He bowls rockets.
So clearly.
He bowls rockets, but I hope his love for speed stays there. But I'm just thinking, when you bowl a slower ball, you take, 20 k's off your speed? His slow ball comes at 130 plus. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Michael's right. I mean, if he can keep this pace going in long form and bowl 15 overs a day at this pace, that'll be wow. And as I said a couple of days ago, look at someone like Naseem Shah. I don't know whether Naseem Shah consistently bowls this pace, but he gets that ball to swing. He's a more complete bowler. He's a long form bowler. So maybe too early, as he said. Maybe too early. Let's see how he goes.
I thought actually tonight was the perfect example when batting first can be a big advantage. Because Lucknow batted first, they got a decent score. But what did the RCB team try to do in the first innings? They tried to bowl Yorkers, got a few wrong, bowled a few full tosses. Lucknow have seen that and thought, we're not going to even go full. They just hammered length. Kept on getting their seamers to bowl into length, hammer it with the odd slow ball, and it must have just been coming off the pitch just with a little bit of two-pace nature, and it certainly works. So that's sometimes an advantage when you bat first and you see a bowling unit get it slightly wrong in the first innings, and it gives your bowlers an indication of what to do in the second innings.
But it's been very good to see the pitch maps, therefore, of the 2 innings, to see one side bowled very different lengths to the other.
Well, I remember the lengths that Mayank bowled, and they were all back of a length. We didn't see any kind of full balls by Mayank at all.
No, I think it was a clear plan from all the teams, just to whack length. You know, let the pitch do the rest. There clearly was a little bit of two-pace nature. The odd slower ball and the odd change in line that they were delivering. But, I mean, if you're bowling 150, I think there was one at 157. 157 kilometres an hour. And it gets the bat. They were saying on commentary, and they're actually absolutely right. It gets you going as a batter. You know, Faf du Plessis first ball, he prods it to mid wicket. Guess what he does? He run out. It's a bit of panic. And Glenn Maxwell strolls out there. He beans it going. He tries to play a pull shot onto him too quickly. Cameron Green, if he actually studies his technique there, he's all over the place. His left foot actually went down leg stump. His bat was somewhere around here, and the ball is hitting the top of off stump. The ball before, he played a kind of a baseball style shot over mid wicket. I just wonder whether he was expecting a short ball, and the young kid was just too quick for him.
Let's have a look at the batting card, because like you said, the two-pace pitch was kind of troublesome for the batters. Again, a good move to get Siddharth in and Krunal opening when Virat was there. He fell for 22, and then unfortunately no one really could get going. Rajat Patidar looked very good against spin, but no one really going past.
Yeah. What's this matchup with Virat and left arm spin? I mean, we are talking about one of the greatest of our era. Surely there's got to be a way to look at that matchup and say, no, I'm Virat Kohli.
Yeah, I think I know why. And I think what they're doing is they're putting two fielders on the onside boundary. So they're kind of having a fielder in front of square and a cow corner, and they're just firing it into leg stump. And because Virat doesn't sweep, you know, he doesn't sweep the ball. He's always trying to just play it conventionally. And I think they think, I'll just get him hitting singles to mid-wicket, try and get him to do something different. He hit one beautiful shot down the ground, and then he just tried one too many where it actually gripped into the surface and he gets the leading edge. But I think teams feel that, particularly in that first over, and what did the first over go for, 3?
Yeah, just 3.
The first over, I think they can fire it in. He's not going to take too much of a risk. He certainly doesn't reverse sweep, and he doesn't conventionally sweep. So if you can think about a third of the ground, unless he plays that late dab that he gets quite fine, you know, there's a third of the ground that he's not hitting. And when you think you've only got 2 fielders that you can have out, you put 2 out here on the onside, and you've got half a chance of restricting him of his boundaries and potentially getting him off strike.
Strike rate against spin is what? In the 80s? Something like that. His strike rate against left-arm spins in the 80s. So he's got to win that battle at some point. He's Kohli. He'll win it at some point, but just a question of when.
But just very impressive tactics by Lucknow, because they clearly had thought them out, because they got Krunal to bowl. I remember when we were sitting here, you quizzed with all of us saying, will Krunal come into bowl? And he did.
Especially with that matchup. But he only bowled 1 over.
Yes.
We thought, remember, that Krunal might have a lot more to do, but they just took him off after a while. And he, as it turns out, he's bowled 7 overs. Yash Thakur is the interesting one. They trusted him to bowl right at the back end. What do RCB do about Lomror? Does he need to play more balls? Is he only a sort of 10-15 ball batter?
Oh, he struck them well.
Yeah, he struck it well.
Dangerous player.
It was almost like the Nicholas Pooran question. It's like, why is he coming down so low? He came in as an impact sub, but he was the most impactful in the batting card.
Yeah, but if you actually look at the RCB batting lineup, he should be coming down low. I mean, they've got world-class performers. You've got Virat and Faf. You've got, you know, Glenn Maxwell. You've got Cameron Green. You've got world beaters. They're just not producing the goods. It's, you know, there's pressure on now for the RCB. You've got Faf as captain. You know, he's got no runs in 4 games. They've only won 1 in 4. You've got Cameron Green, who's obviously on a huge amount of money, so there's pressure there. His bowling's nowhere near, and his batting's very much hit and miss. And you've got Glenn Maxwell, who's got out for naught again, and he's just not firing. And it's the same story for the RCB side. Let's be brutally honest. For many, many years, they've had world-class batters. And for many years, we've been sat on these red chairs thinking, it's just not working. And the bowling never looks like it's got the world-class talent to win them games. So they do rely on that batting lineup to get them above par. And when they're chasing a total like they were tonight, which I think that total was chaseable, even though the pitch was a little bit iffy, with that batting lineup's good enough to chase down anything, and it was a really poor chase by them.
Look at Gujarat Titans. They almost won last year. They won the previous year. You look down that batting lineup and say, nah, they can't win a tournament. But they won it with their bowlers. Here's a thought. If RCB had said, sorry, we're not paying the 17.5 crores for Cameron Green, where would Emma have got the money to buy Hardik Pandya? And then maybe we wouldn't have been talking about all this happening. Okay, pass.
Move on.
Well, let's have a look at the innings progression because I want to understand where do you all think it went wrong for them?
The power play, I think.
So just 48 for 3 and that
Yeah, 3 big-
unnecessary dismissal, the run out of Faf.
It was overs 5 and 6. They actually had a slow start and then they had a couple of really good overs and then suddenly Virat went and they were still doing okay and it was the inclusion of Mayank. Mayank Yadav came on for that six over and he just bowled rockets. He gets Faf obviously run out and he just created a lot of doubt in the batter's mind. And you know, I do think when you're chasing something like they were chasing, the first couple of overs are crucial. And I just felt those first 2 overs from the left-arm spinners, it almost just gave the momentum back to Lucknow. That was a chance really for RCB to go boom, 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 get a couple into the stands and get to 20-25 quickly. And I think the whole atmosphere around the ground would have been electric and they've had a better chance of chasing down the target.
You know, it's such a tactical game, this. That is why I keep saying T20 cricket is the closest you'll come to football. Someone has the very just a little tactical role to play. That guy's coming, stop him. But that's all you have to do. Virat Kohli is coming, just bowl 2 overs to him, don't go for too many, let's keep it down. It's such a tactical game, this, that you enjoy.
And you talk about tactics, the RCB team have got to be smart enough now to realise the tactic.
Yes.
So they've got to realise that left-arm spin's possibly going to bowl to Virat. They need a left-hander in at the top of the order. It's just simple tactics of that. If Virat's going to open the batting and they're going to open with left-arm spin, why are you sending out 2 right-handers?
But
Now throw out a left-hander. If Virat gets the one, the left-hander, even if it's just a wild card to go. I'm not saying they've gotten that right. They have to do things differently. They can't just think that playing the same way is going to suddenly change their fortune. They've been playing this way for years. It's not working. So when you see a tactic that's so clear and obvious against you, and it's against Virat, you as a team have got to be smart enough to realise it's going to happen, and you've got to change your tactics.
Just a word on KL Rahul though, because we are talking about the tactics used by Lucknow. He seemed like he was very calm and composed, which he usually is behind the stumps, but he's moved his bowlers around very intelligently.
And used 7 bowlers, so he said, okay, Krunal Pandya, let's see if it's coming, if it's working for you. Stoinis bowled just that 1 over. He went off the field, did he? Because I heard them say Stoinis not on the field. Because I would definitely have had Stoinis bowl 1 more over for Yash Thakur. But when LSG was built with Gautam and KL Rahul and the others at the auction 2 years ago, they had all these all-rounders in the side, and that is how they wanted to play, with a lot of options. That's how CSK wins. Just carry a lot of options around. So today, may not be, in my instinct, may not be the day for Krunal Pandya. I've got Marcus Stoinis to come in and bowl. With the impact sub, I've got 1 more bowler if I choose. But they had 7 bowlers available to them. And I think he used them well. Sometimes just an over here and there is good enough, but he used them well.
You were surprised that he gave Siddharth the 3rd over. I remember sitting and watching it together. You said, oh, this might just be, but it went in favor of Lucknow.
It went. I mean, he got hit for a boundary first ball and I thought, oh, that was a big risk. That was
a good shot, that. Punch on the back foot.
Big risk. And then, I think we're in the agreement. They have to get a wicket. And suddenly Virat gets out and it kind of repays the faith in that over. It really was the 6 over. And this young Mayank Yadav that's just arrived for Lucknow. I guess they'll always say now that we knew we had him. You know, two weeks ago they said, oh, we had this guy, he's full of pay. They would have had no clue the reaction that he would have given in the last 2 games. He's won them 2 games. You know, against Punjab, let's be honest.
Yeah, you are.
Shikhar Dhawan and Johnny Bairstow were strolling that game. Suddenly the pace merchant came on, bosh. Game completely changes and exactly the same. In the 6th over, I wasn't winning the contest. I was not winning the prediction game. One of you two won't until he came on to bowl. So you can blame him.
No, my story...
yourself, Harsha, or Saiyami, you're not winning today.
My story with this scoring contest is a bit like RCB. I promise every year,
just
falling short. Just falling short.
Got to change your tactics.
But you did realise, didn't you, that very gently she was getting back at you because in the green room she's heard you say, don't give him that extra over. So very gently she's got back to you.
Yeah.
Tactical battles here as well. Yeah. And Michael gently shifts it to Mayank Yadav.
No, but I will now gently clap because he's now a 2-time winner. I was going to bring it up a little later, but this is incredible, Michael.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
2-time winner today.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yes, we will We will be seeing
Where does
you.
that put me on the leaderboard?
We'll get
I'm
to the
still
leaderboard
bottom.
later. I know it's very important to us, but we have a lot of questions coming in. And I'd like to take one of the questions because we were talking about Mayank Yadav. There's a lot of curiosity about him. Can India consider Mayank Yadav for the upcoming T20 World Cup, or is it too early to select him? I know you touched upon it, Michael, but we are Indian fans. We get super excited when someone comes and bowls like this.
I'll be wary, but when you've got someone bowling 155 kilometres an hour, you have to look. You have to see how he goes over the next few weeks, but if he continues on this pathway of bowling like he is doing, and he obviously continues to win games for his franchise, the selectors will look. You know, there's a small few things that you can't find in cricket teams. Number one is a real quality leg spinner. You know, they're very, very hard to find. You can get lots of batters. You know, there's so many batters in this era across the world, but there's not many that can bowl 155 kilometres an hour. So when one arrives, I mean, has he got an English passport? Can we have him? we need a bit of pace. When something like Mayank arrives, the selectors have to look. I'm not saying that they pick him, but they'll keep a very, very close eye on him over the next few weeks.
Look, since he brought it up, only because Michael brought it up, I would never say it otherwise. It's just because Michael brought it up. England used, in the test matches, they used a new ball bowler who was bowling sort of early 120s. That very evening, there was a WPL game going on. And Shabnam Ismail was bowling rockets, 128, 130, 132. So I'll rest my case. I can see why he wants a 155. But yeah, definitely you have to. You know, Indians have always dreamt of someone coming in and really letting it rip. My generation, when we saw Kapil Dev, we thought, wow! And then slowly, when Bumrah came around, quicker bowlers came around, but 155. Look, we picked Umran Malik at the end of the first season and took him straight away. And I think there's a recency factor, but I think he's got a little bit more in terms of line length control than Umran Malik had. Can you imagine both of them at either ends?
It'll be beautiful, but also, you know, just because Shami is not playing, there's been a lot of discussion about the third seamer. So there is Siraj, there is of course Bumrah, and there was talks of Arshdeep as a third seamer. With the way Mayank's playing, get him in and let him be in the squad, let him be at the bench. Maybe that's a good idea.
Could be. I mean, if he's bowling like this, why on the bench?
Why on the bench?
But as I said, we've only seen him in 2 games.
Yes.
We've only seen him in 2 games. Batters are clever too, you know. Batters are clever too. They will, as the tournament goes along, they'll figure out a way to get under his skin and then see if they can disturb him. Maybe they'll start playing some uppercuts. Maybe they'll just have a word to him and see if he reacts and loses it. So batters are clever too. They'll find a way.
The kind of judgment of a young player coming into cricket when they're firing, and obviously we're all praising him, is when he has a bad game.
Yeah.
True.
You know, when he goes for 60 and he gets hit to all parts, and how does he react to that? How does he come back and bowl when the pressure's really on, or his team lose a game because of his bowling? Let's be honest, bowling's tough because if you're a batsman and get out, someone else has to come out, and it's not always that the batsman gets the finger pointed at him. If you're bowling at the end in the second innings and the ball flies to all parts, we remember the bowler who was bowling at that time, and he'll have that moment. All bowlers have to go through that, and it's how he reacts to that which will be the real judgment of his temperament. But in terms of action, quality, it looks calm. I don't know him, but from what I hear in terms of the interview, he looks a very level-headed character. He's got a good group of people around him. He's got every chance of... I would say that they probably will put him in the squad if he's bowling that quickly in a few weeks' time and he's going well. I'd say that he's probably will be making the T20 World Cup squad.
Well, Mayank Yadav has been very cool and composed. I think it's a good time to look at the carrier room air conditioner, coolest moment of the match. There were quite a few. I know there are going to be a lot of Mayank tweets coming in, but let's have a look at what you all have written in. We have quite a bunch of tweets that have come in. Faf du Plessis run out by Padikkal is such a sharp dismissal and certainly the coolest thing right now here in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Okay, Ayush, thank you for that.
Bangalore boy, no?
Yeah.
So that's what the coolest thing in Bangalore, maybe.
Ronald says Nicholas Pooran hitting Topley for 3 sixes in a row, including 2 flat ones, is my carrier coolest moment of the match. This is what, Michael, you were talking about, I think, the 1 over point. Let's have a look at another one. Oh, here come the Mayank tweets. Mayank Yadav making the batters fear at Chinnaswamy. Avdut has to agree with that.
Tis Gaokar. 30 little villages somewhere.
30 villages. Oh. Yeah. Well, like I said, for me, I just, that Cam Green wicket, Mayank getting those, it was just so cool. But let me ask you all.
That is the anchor, getting more and more experience day by day. Picking the one moment that you know the other two are going to pick and getting it out very quickly.
No, but we can have a unanimous, it's not a prediction game.
Generating heat can be the coolest moment. Yeah, that was. I mean, that hitting top of off stump. You just had to see his reaction. Top of off stump. That's what everyone wants to do. My first instinct, actually, I heard the click. I thought, has he got caught behind or something? It's just gone.
Yeah.
That's when the flashing stumps always help, don't you? You see them light up. Oh, it's dead simple. The coolest moment to see a couple of Australians jumping around.
Doesn't the Ashes winning captain like that, doesn't they?
So I thought that was rather cool.
All right, we unanimously agree to this moment. That was our career room air conditioner, coolest moment of the match. I love it. I love it when Michael gets his sledging in very subtly, but he keeps the sledging in, Michael. That's
well, you're quite good, aren't you, as well?
I've learned. I'm really learning quickly. I'm trying to learn quickly. Lisa has been...
oh, no, Lisa's. We've changed the name. From Lisa's Thalika to Lisa 5 sticker.
So my mentor Lisa is going to be sending me little clips and bits and telling me how I should stand up for myself. So she's promised me that she's going to do that.
I look forward to it.
Well, someone who needs to up their game is RCB. Let's have a look at the points table because they are down there. Mumbai are 10 but RCB 9. Lucknow up to number 4 now. Well, Michael worries here because 3 losses, 1 win. The bowling is all over the place. The star batting is not clicking. It didn't click today. So a lot of worries.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's Mumbai and RCB are the 2 biggest franchises. 2 teams with the biggest support and 2, I guess, teams with similar problems. Both with very strong batting and. It looks like their bowling is going to be well short of the standard required, in my opinion. But there's a long way to go. Do I see them both going on a run? Not at this stage. I'll be honest with you. I think there's a few problems in the lineup in terms of the combinations for both teams. And I just look at bowling. If you just relying on your batters to bat so well every game in T20 cricket, it's very difficult. What you want is if your batters just fell by 10 or 15%, you've got a bowling unit that can get you out of trouble. And I think when a good team operates perfectly is when you've got a bowling team that can get the batters out of trouble and you've got a batting team that can get the bowlers out of trouble. And I think both those teams are struggling on that particular bowling department.
When was the last time in a major tournament a team that was constructed entirely around batting, that just says, I don't care how many you'll score, we'll just score more than you, went out and actually won? I keep coming back, Mumbai Indians 2020, but listen, their trend bowled Jasprit Bumrah, someone like a Coulter-Nile, someone perfectly capable coming in and bowling in the middle overs, at Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, so they had a good bowling setup. The only team I can think of is the West Indies team in the middle of last decade, when you had all these power hitters, you had the Pollards, the Russells, the Darren Sammys, all these people. And it didn't matter how many you scored because they just hit more than you. But I can't think of too many other situations where a big tournament has been won purely by the glamour, big ticket boys who go and score the runs. It's the bowlers who win your tournaments.
Well, we've said this time and again that bowlers win new tournaments, but our producer sent in these numbers that since 2016, RCB has not won a game chasing more than 180 plus at the Chinnaswamy. It's a problem for them. And playing in Chinnaswamy is a problem for them because post that dream run in 2016, they should have won that. I mean, they were the team of the tournament. But post 2016, 17, 18, 19 as well, I think, and now this year, it's a work in progress. They've never qualified. The tournament goes out of Bangalore, COVID reasons, 2021-22, they qualify every time. So they've got a problem playing at home. Everyone's thinking, how do we win at home? RCB are actually generating problems at home. And if the pitches are going to be like this, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Harsha, I think they've got a real problem at home when they're getting the tactics wrong. When you're bowling completely the wrong length at your home venue, to win a tournament like this, you have to know every ounce of every detail of your home pitch. That's what home advantage is. You've got to know exactly what the 22 yards is going to react like. And to see them going full and to get those Yorkers wrong, I couldn't understand why they were bowling Yorkers and they're getting them wrong and they're going into the stands. And then you see the opposition completely out-bowl you in your own backyard. So it's not just that they don't have, in my opinion, the best bowling attack. You can get away with not having the best bowling if you have the best tactical tank. If you have the best think tank who completely knows what they're bowling on, you can get away with not having all the skills and all the great bowlers in your unit. But I just thought tonight they got completely their tactics wrong, which is more of a concern actually. When you're getting your tactics, you can bowl badly, trying to deliver the right tactics, but when you bowl badly, delivering the wrong tactics, I think that's an issue.
I mean, when they just went over, I think 5, 6 sixes hit off full tosses, and a full toss is always a ball that's when you've got the Yorker wrong, it becomes a full toss.
Well, someone who got off the mark at home at their second home is Delhi. Let's have a look at tomorrow's game because Delhi takes on KKR and they're going to be playing at Vizag, match number 16. Both teams coming in with that confidence. Delhi winning their last game and just such a big game to win because it's CSK. It's one of the toughest opponents. And then Pant coming in, doing well. Warner doing well. Prithvi coming in. We'll have a look at their squad because things seem to have fallen in place for Delhi. Harsha, any changes you'd expect tomorrow?
No, but I was very happy they got Prithvi Shaw back in because we saw stats. If he plays 30 balls, they win 75% of their games or something like that. So he comes in. What it meant was that Mitch Marsh had to go down, but Marsh has batted 3 regularly. Yes. The only reason Pant batted at 3 was the situation in the game. I think the slower bowler was bowling, so he came in. To me, the story of that game was Rishabh Pant making that 50 and saying, not only am I back, I'm back and I'm good enough to get runs at this level. And I think he said to me afterwards, I needed the balls. I'm still coming back. I needed to play those few balls in, to get those few balls in. So maybe that's why he came in at 3. So he could get those few balls. But they looked a better side with Shaw and Warner opening the batting. And Warner's, I mean, you're wondering how Warner's going to go. He was back to his pugnacious, audacious self.
Yeah, and if Kuldeep is fit...
That's a change you'd expect tomorrow.
Well, if he's fit, he plays. I mean, on the back of a really good win, if you can add Kuldeep to that performance,
If you see the previous game, Kuldeep went 40 and 4. And, when you're walking around, he's chirpy. He always wants to come and have a chat with you. And he said, I shouldn't have played the previous game. I had a lot of pain. I shouldn't have played, but I thought, it's only 4 overs. I'll get by. So that's why I couldn't play the next game. So I won't be surprised. If it's pain in the groin area, then maybe he'll probably miss a couple of games. I don't know.
All right, let's quickly have a look at KKR squad now because they are coming off a win as well. Shreyas Iyer, Venkatesh Iyer, both the Iyers look good the other day. Phil Salt came out well. Sunil Narine, the move to send him up worked. So again, when things work, everything seems to work. I think probably just mid-Stark, still pretty expensive is the concern.
Yeah, Starkey's been travelling a bit, but you look at Dre Russ and his bowling. He's been bowling well and obviously can still launch the big rockets. They, for me, have been a team that has played like a team. I think Gautam Gambhir does a tremendous job wherever he goes. He just seems to be able to galvanise and make the team and their roles within it quite simple. I think every single player, and I look at Gautam wherever he's been, every team that he's kind of been around, it looks like all the players have a specific role and they stick to it. And KKR just look like a team, and they've not been great over the last few years, but they look like they're playing as a collective, which is what they haven't been looking like. After about 3 or 4 games we've had in the last 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 opening partnerships, well, they've got quite a steady, simplistic batting lineup, which is a start, and I think that's probably down to Gambhir coming in. But they've got some good players. They look like a team that could go quite far. I mean, tomorrow's a big game for them because Delhi will be full of confidence, but if they can win tomorrow, they've had an incredible start, and Stark will come good. He won't just keep being dispatched to the boundary.
He's 100 from 8 overs at the moment.
He'll have a day or two, surely.
But your players to watch out for.
I only brought that up because of what Michael said about seeing the 2 Aussie batsmen jump
around.
So I just brought in the Aussie bowler in there.
But he let go of this one. He said that I'll leave the ball. He left it well.
Look, you can be the greatest player in the world. You're on 24.5 crores. That's a lot of $1 million. That's a lot of $1 million in Australia. There's bound to be pressure. You can say, no, I didn't ask for the money. You can say whatever you want. There is going to be pressure. So he'll take time to settle in. He's too good a cricketer not to have a good season. When he does that, Harshit Rana's bowling very well. What about Sunil Narine? He goes up to open the batting, boom, boom, boom. Against RCB, I think he scores every time he goes out to bat. So now they've decided, with the impact sub, we can lengthen our middle order batting. So let's throw one in. Because the history of Sunil Narine as an opener is, if he doesn't get runs, he gets out. He doesn't score 8 from 8.
Yeah, he doesn't waste any.
No.
Perfect.
And he's bowling well. So suddenly it's coming together. They just need Varun Chakravarti to come back and bowl a little, bowl well again. But otherwise, it's looking good.
So your players to watch out for then, one from each team.
I'm going to go Phil Salt. He's looked dangerous and he's getting off to a flyer. And again, like Stark, he'll have a night out soon. It could be tomorrow night.
You talked about roles, and I think that's a role that's been given him. Doesn't matter what's happening, except in the first game when they lost wickets and he slowed down a little bit. But he's been given that role. Just go, just go. Because if you get out, doesn't matter. We've got someone like Venkatesh Iyer, Shreyas Iyer, Nitish Rana, Rinku Singh, Andre Russell. We've got a lot of power batting. So I think they've just liberated Salt and said, just go. And as it turns out, Jason Roy goes away and Phil Salt just fills the role.
It's also helped their balance with Phil Salt keeping.
With him keeping, because now they had an option to Gurbaz. Otherwise, they would have had to go with Gurbaz every game. Now suddenly they've got this option and they're looking a better side for it. My player to watch out for is still Andre Russell. Simply because of the two ways he's bowling. So my players.
But we need one from each team. So you
I'm going to go Prithvi Shaw.
Oh.
I'm going to go for Prithvi to get. I mean, I thought he looked pretty good the other night, and he surely would have gathered a bit more confidence from that knock that he played the other night.
I know. I'd like to see Rishabh Pant get another score.
Yeah, wouldn't be all.
Let's see. Let's see.
Are you going Rishabh?
I'll go Rishabh because I just want him to do really well.
Yeah, but look, finally, if Rishabh has to make the World Cup team, then we've got to start looking at Rishabh beyond the emotion of him coming back. So I want to see if I can look beyond the emotion personally through my own eyes, because every time we look at Rishabh, we're looking at him through emotional eyes. I want to check for myself if I can look upon him and say, nah, forget the emotion. Let's look at Rishabh, the player.
Which we saw. We saw that in the last match. So we hope we can continue to see that. And something that Michael wants to see and he's asked for. So our producers have diligently got it out. They've been working very hard.
To think that someone's won an Ashes for the first time in so many years, and here he is sitting in the studio getting excited about a table.
I'm top of the list on the right side.
The right list.
On the right list.
But the world is going right anyway.
Viru's doing all right. Look at Viru, he's okay.
No, he's dropped again.
No, Viru's dropped. Oh, no, I dropped. He's gone above me. I was a 3.
Harsha, you're struggling.
No, I'm going by seniority, just letting everyone have a go.
Bro,
Michael, are you happy now?
I'm happy, yeah. I want to get on that left list. I'll get on there tomorrow night.
Okay.
I can't believe this, man. I've always looked at Michael as someone who
It's a big moment in my life.
So there have been only 2 big moments in Michael's life. One, he's made a living out of, which is getting the master out. He's made a living out of it. You talk to Michael for 5 minutes on a podcast that comes up.
Well,
But I didn't think I'd see the day when this tough, hard as nails cricketer is excited and looking at the leaderboard like that.
But we take it very seriously at Cricbuzz. We take this very seriously, and what we take also very seriously is, what was the name? CBSE Bhattacharya's question. So let's have a look at CBSE Bhattacharya's question. In the 90s, which cricketer appeared in the test where 4 of his teammates and 1 from the opposition were born after he made his test debut? And I have to applaud Harsha Bhogle.
No, I got it in a 3rd or 4th attempt.
No, that's all right. I mean, you're not supposed to give this. You're supposed to be proud of the fact that you got an answer.
I thought maybe someone like an Eddie Hemmings, who said 90s. John Tricos, I thought those kind of people. Yeah, but eventually.
Let's have a look at the answer. We haven't given it out yet. It's Imran Khan.
Imran.
So Harsha got this. He got this in his 3rd attempt. So this is a big thing.
To be honest, I thought by 92, I wondered whether he'd played a test match. He came back to play the 92 World Cup. Unless it was an ODI. Was it a test match?
It
doesn't matter.
It was a test match.
It was a test match because the question said test. Let's have a look at who got the answer quickly. A whole lot of you have gotten it. But Harjas has gotten this answer. Harjas, I don't think, has answered.
No. It's the first time winner, no?
Are you a first-time winner, Harjas? Please write in and tell us. First-time winners are always applauded more. So if you are, we will applaud for you tomorrow doubly. But well done for answering this today. Keep writing in, giving us your answers. I have to applaud for both of you guys. Let's applaud, because one has gotten, is a 2-time champion, and one is a CBSE Bhattacharya answerer. So well done to both of you. You all are smiling.
You don't get any points on the list.
No points.
They're not giving me an inch there.
No, there's no list for that.
Yeah, but this is another league. You know, the prediction game is still in the human league. This is another league.
Yes.
Vauxhall Conference League, getting down the bottom.
But guys, thank you very much. It's always so much fun being on these red chairs with the both of you.
You back tomorrow?
I'm back tomorrow.
You back tomorrow?
Back tomorrow, yeah.
And is Lisa here?
No, Lisa's
Just as well,
gone
because I was
away
going to tell you, if Lisa's here, then you're much better off sitting here and just letting those two keep talking to each other.
Oh, it's the curl girl power. Give it to the curls.
Okay.
Okay, guys, that's all we have time for right now. With them, I can go on and on chatting, but we don't want to be here till 7 p.m. tomorrow because we have to watch y'all and y'all have to watch us at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So don't forget to join us. We'll be there. Good night and goodbye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें